Hello everyone, welcome to Crypto Morning on Friday, September 13th, 2024. I think we've successfully navigated the past 2 weeks, especially the last one with major deadlines, big stats, ABCE meetings and huge data releases. Just look at the weekly map to see how well we've handled this period. We've got one last deadline coming up, which we'll discuss next week with the Fed. I think that's all we'll be talking about for the next 5 days. Looking at the map, it's not bad. SUI is performing great. We've discussed it a lot with Grayscale, who launched the product. FTM isn't far behind. Quant is also doing well, along with ICP, Tau and FET. We'll talk about those. As for the S&P 500, it's digested the ABCE's decision well. A 0.25 drop, as expected and widely anticipated by the market. What's key is we ended green on both S&P 500 and Nasdaq. NVIDIA is still on a great run, driving token momentum. Let's check Tau. Obviously that's the news. We did a quick flash last night. Grayscale's launching an XRP trust. It's surprising Grayscale and XRP both started in 2013 when there was just Bitcoin, Dogecoin and now dead tokens. So it's odd they waited 10 years. I think it's great news for XRP. Let's look at the chart. The token's ready to explode. Interestingly, Japanese power company Tepco's mining Bitcoin. This bold move aims to avoid wasting green energy by creating Bitcoin. Japanese energy innovations could inspire the wind sector. I find this extremely interesting. This is called producing carbon-negative Bitcoin. ExxonMobil's approach is fascinating too. They use gas normally released and polluting nature. They mine Bitcoin with it, claiming Bitcoin cleans the planet. It's great as it lowers averages and makes Bitcoin production greener. I must admit I've always said I dislike this project. Looking at the chart, it's on a very nice pattern. It's close to breaking its 100-day moving average. Interestingly, Parafi Capital will tokenize real assets via a fund. Not small change, we're talking $1.2 billion. What I really like is there's no talk of a specialized blockchain. It's simply going to happen on Avalanche. So this is great news for Avalanche, and the token reacted well too. Next, big news. Coinbase is launching CBBTC. It's BTC wrapped on the Baize blockchain, a layer 2 on Ethereum. It'll be a liquidity bridge for Baize, boosting its TVL and DeFi. Justin Sun isn't happy, explaining he sees a risk. Indeed, real Bitcoins are wrapped on a blockchain. There'll never be true Bitcoins even if 1 BTC equals 1 BTC. There are always risks, but Sun's quick reaction is telling for Baize. Then Vitalik, who we rarely hear from, stirred up the layer 2 by telling and pushing them to be more decentralized, or they believe they won't survive. We rarely hear this, but he's voicing a bit of criticism here. It's quite interesting to follow. This is really excellent news. AI, why is it causing a stir? NVIDIA's up over 10% in 2 days, but OpenAI is also coming in pre-IPO phase. It was valued at $100 billion and just raised funds from Apple and NVIDIA. The valuation keeps growing now, reaching $150 billion. What does this mean? It means on IPO day it might be worth $200, $300 billion. We'll discuss later. Often it's only for Americans and Canadians, but we'll see if there's a chance. Could be a nice IPO with huge valuations, especially if the stock takes off. This would be doubly positive for AI tokens, which we've discussed a lot. It hasn't changed. They'll be top performers in this bull market. I'm a bit confused about Trump's stance. What do you think? I feel he's overdoing it. He's suddenly diving into financial freedom through crypto. He sounds like a crypto fanboy. It's odd. It seems he's just discovered crypto and is jumping on the bandwagon. To me, it feels fake. What's your take? Anyway, he's all in on crypto. We talked about NVIDIA doing well and AI tokens benefiting. It's predictable. We'll see some examples. When we look at the map now daily, we see that there's still this one. We see Wallcoin. We'll see Yanir soon. We have Jupiter, Pit, Computer, and of course XRP. For XRP, I'm looking at volumes. Before the announcement, we weren't even at 400. 500 million volumes tripled in 24 hours. Let's hope the momentum continues and it takes off. We'll watch the inflows closely. We often look at Grayscale outflows for Bitcoin and Ethereum. We'll also check for XRP inflows. It'll be key for volumes. We'll see it in the volumes. If we see big volumes at some point, It should be, and we also have Quant, which is on a great trajectory. It's been really tough. It must have hit rock bottom, but now it's doing really well. For Bitcoin, absolutely nothing to say. We're still on the same trend, aiming to hit the 62,000 zone for starting to battle with the moving average, 50 to 60k, 100 to 62k, 200 to 63k. That's it. Simple details, but nothing to say. Still in this range, we've bounced back. We seem to confirm the head and shoulders. For the reverse, we need to see more. I think next week should be crucial. This is where it gets really interesting, a bit like Bitcoin. For the inverse TT, it's directly attacking the 50 and 100 moving averages. It'd be cool to break past 400, then we'd really start the famous phase 1, 2, which would be phase 3. Most importantly, we'd break the 400 zone we've been in since early July. To me, this whole area is a gift zone. We'll discuss it again in a year. As for XRP, we've talked about this triangle for months, maybe years. It broke through, then consolidated. To me, it's beautiful in a bull flag triangle. He burst these bubbles, and for the back on the triangle, now we need a flag ball. I think it'll explode soon. Following a surge that's long overdue, it's really taking off on a great momentum. Let's see this explosion continue. It's been so tough that we must be cautious about it. As for the corner, we discussed it a few days ago. I believe it's pretty much the same as a few days back, even if it's grown a bit. There's no special setup, no shoulder patterns or such, but this kind of curve is ultra bullish to me. It's battled with the 50 line 2-3 times. If we position on the moving average, it's forming an odd pattern. But on the moving average, I think it could explode. If it does, I think it'll burst even the 100 MA at 223. I feel this token could gain 50 to 100% in no time. Just follow the momentum. The trend is looking great. We saw Tau exploding past 50 and 100. It's battling and surging, breaking through its 100-day moving average to a 10-day. It's shifting into something good. Lastly, I wanted to mention my shovel token. It's holding up well. I have a small position. I think we talked about it early this year. What's impressive is how stable it's been. We've had tough months with tokens that have exploded, crashed, some even lower than a year ago. I think my shovel is in a great range. In the RWA space, among smaller projects, it's worth 75 million. It's an RWA project that's riskier than big projects, but with huge potential. That's all from me. Have a great Friday, and I'll see you soon.